This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here at JD Byrider. Since 1989, they have provided reliable and dependable transportation while building your credit and therefore improving your life. I'm here with Rick, who is the owner of the Denver location here. Thanks for joining us, Rick. 2016, started an organization here. Yet this was a company that started by JD back in the 80s. I mean, we're getting close to 30 years here. Basically, the company's expanded. We're looking at 153 locations, 33 states. That's pretty amazing for a guy who had a small car lot and began doing this. Why did you feel this was a good fit for you and decided to get involved?
Well, as I said earlier, I've been in the car business 40 years now. Most of that was in the new car business. And without boring you with all the details, the factories in the new car business and the customers are pretty demanding. I had a Chevrolet dealership that I sold, wanted to come back in the Denver market because I love it here. Started researching great franchises and came across this one, traveled to Indiana where their headquarters is, met with the company, and basically fell in love with the idea. Helping customers, car business, which I've been in all my life, and getting people back on the road and getting their credit built back up. So it just seemed like a perfect situation.
Excellent. Obviously, you've been around for some time, not only being in the business of cars, but probably enjoying cars your entire life. If we look back in the 80s, one thing that's definitely changed is the fact that automobiles are no longer just a luxury. I mean, really, they're a necessity in our life. They get us and our kids to and from school, get ourselves to work. We're able to work away from home, yet at the same time, we enjoy cars. They're able to let us travel across the nation, see things we've never seen before. I would imagine everybody that works here, you're all on the same page when it comes to the importance of owning a car. Is that something that you would agree with?
Oh, absolutely. And you know, that's one of the great things is our customers have a need for a car. You know, when our customers come in, we do a complete interview, a complete evaluation, and try to match them with the need that they have. So if they've got 5 children, let's see if we can get you in a vehicle that'll hold all 5 of those children. You know, people need to get to work, they need to get to the grocery store, they need to get to school. They've got a need for this automobile. It's not just now cruising down the street and showing your friends your new car you got. It's a need. You know, the Denver traffic is tough, and we need to get people in the right car, get them to and from work, get their families to and from church activities, schools, whatever it may be. It's a huge need.
Absolutely. I mean, to basically get a quality automobile, I mean, it's a substantial investment for most of us. Would you say that most of us require some type of financing? And obviously that is something that works well with this organization.
Absolutely. Very few people, in all the years I've been in business, very few people ever walk in and just write a check for a car, whether it be a used car or a new car. Very few people do. So most people need financing, and you know, we specialize in helping people that have no credit or are credit challenged. You know, credit's just not an issue with us. That's not what we look at. We look at your credit, but only as a means to know who you are. You know.
That is a great fit for people. That's kind of a breath of fresh air for somebody. So regardless if they have bad credit or no credit, do you find that a lot of times many of these folks just need a chance to really improve their credit again and get back on track?
Absolutely. You know, we've got a saying in our dealership here is that bad things can happen to good people, and we understand that. You know, so we have a lot of people, when they initially contact us, they'll tell us kind of sheepishly, you know, I've got bad credit. And we say, that's not a problem. Come on in. You know, we want to look at more than just your credit. We want to look at you, the individual. We want to look and see at your budget. We want to see if it makes sense for you, for one thing, to buy a car from us, and if you can afford to buy that car, because we don't want to put you in a car that's not going to be successful for you.
So we're talking, like JD would say, the family way, going beyond how we do it nowadays. The traditional dealership, people go out there, they look for a car, they soon find out maybe they're not able to qualify for something like that. Do you find that people start to settle? I mean, settle for a as-is automobile, and why can that sometimes be a mistake and actually put them back a step?
Well, absolutely, and we see that all the time where we'll have customers come in begging for help. They bought a car somewhere else. The transmission went out of it, or the engine went out of it, or something bad happened to it. They're stuck with car payments. They don't know what to do. You don't have that with us because our cars have a warranty on them for 3 years or 36,000 miles. So our program is designed to help you rebuild your credit and keep you in a good car, make you successful in that purchase.
That is great. Speaking of a good car, the first thing that really caught my eye for the JD difference here is the fact that it's a quality car because you have 90 plus inspection points that these things go through. Tell me a little bit about the inspection process.
Yeah. The very first thing we do before we even bring a car in the shop is take it on a 12-mile drive. And if it doesn't make it through the 12-mile drive, if the mechanic comes back and says, I'm not even going to look at this car, it goes back to the auction. If it makes it through the 12-mile drive, we'll put it up in the shop. We'll do our comprehensive inspection on it. Once again, it gets a list, goes to the service manager. He makes a decision whether or not that car is going to fit on our lot, whether it's repairable, whether it's going to be a nice, long-lasting car for somebody. If it doesn't, we'll send it back to the auction. It's not good if it doesn't meet our criteria. If it needs tires, brakes, etc., that's all it needs. We'll put it on there. But our process says our tires got to be this good, our brakes have to be this good, et cetera, et cetera. So it's got to be a car that meets our criteria, that makes it on the lot. Because once again, we want our customers to be successful. We don't want them broken down.
Absolutely, and I would much rather you going through that process as professionals than me trying to figure it out. Obviously, you're going to go through an inspection process, even computer testing, like you say, servicing it, almost reconditioning it if that's what's required. All the critical areas taken care of. This has to give a lot of peace of mind for people. It kind of takes out the chunk of the fear of buying a used car, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the biggest thing. At our dealership, we always say that our warranty sells the car, even though we have an entire package, in our mind. When you report to all 3 credit bureaus, you have a great warranty on the car. You don't mark up parts, including tires. If our customers need new tires, we sell them to them and install them at cost. So it takes that peace of mind where they're not going to have to worry about it, even to the point, like I said, when we reimburse them for their license plates. We don't want our customers to have a huge expense if we can help it for them.
Absolutely, and that does help folks as well. For somebody out there, they know they want to get a car, and yet at the same time, they know they have to go through some financing, which is something that people don't look forward to. Share with me how the pay here, buy here is so much different than the traditional model of using a third-party bank.
Well, for one thing, let me say this. A traditional dealership, if you come in and buy a car from them and you get third-party financing outside, that dealership gets paid and the customer goes away and the dealership just forgets about you. I believe that. When you're in a buy here, pay here like we are, we set you up on payments around your payday to help make it as easy as we can for you. And we're with you every step of the way. If your car's got a problem, we're right there with you then at that point. We don't just forget about you because the bank's written us a check. We're invested in you. So we want you to be successful in that car.
A big difference. And not only that, but I imagine if you're doing everything in-house here, it's an easier process. You find out right away. Let's face it, banks are not in business to help people with credit that is not impeccable, really.
No, in fact, the banks, you'll see the banks, it's very traditional. The banks are all cyclical. As their portfolio gets low on car loans, then they start getting down into lower and lower credit ratings. And then as their portfolio fills up, they back off from that. And we see that in cycles. I've seen it all my life. And so we're in that cycle right now again where the banks are backing off from people. So people who could have 6 months ago walked in with maybe a marginal credit score and get a car at a conventional dealership can't do that now. So that I shouldn't say forces, but brings people back into the fold with us and allows us to help them get into a car.
So if somebody gets approved here in-house, are they able to also find a payment, that really fits their budget and lifestyle? Because obviously, like you said, you want them to be successful, not today, but all the way through that payment schedule as well.
Absolutely. We will not put a customer in a car that can't afford it. We do a budget with that person, and if it doesn't work, we'll tell them right up front, this is not the car for you, this is not maybe the place for you, because you're not going to be successful at this. And there's no reason to sell somebody a car and have them struggle with the payment, forever.
Absolutely. There's no high pressure to get you into something today just to get a sale for the day. And because quite honestly, obviously you want them to leave with a car today, be happy today. But something else that really helps people, I think, into the future is the fact that you're a company that basically does reporting of the credit. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. We're one of the few that report to all 3 credit bureaus. So, and it's basically automatic in our system. So, I mean, it's not something that a person's got to sit and push a button and make sure that it happens. We report to all 3 credit bureaus, which also means that we had to be credit worthy. We had to pass the rigors of all 3 of those credit bureaus in order to even be allowed to do that.
I was just going to ask you why a lot of people don't maybe do that, some of the buy here, pay here places.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, they had to come out and do an inspection. They did a background check on me, you know, so they want to make sure that the people that are reporting are up, you know, right up front with everything as well. So,
I mean, it's obviously very wise going with a company that does inspections for you on the front end. I don't have to check out this car. You've already checked it out for me. Yet, as we know, life happens. You drive it off the lot. Maybe something happens down the line. Kind of nice knowing that there's a warranty provided here. What about somebody who wants an extended service agreement? Is that something they can get as well? And is that done here in house?
that's not something I offer. You know, our traditional contracts are no longer than 3.5 years. In fact, we try to make our term less than that. So we try to keep our customers' term close to what their warranty actually is.
That makes much more sense because the warranty that you have here is covered all the way through pretty much the time they're going to be paying off the car as well. Let me ask you this. Someone who has never come into a place like this before and maybe they're a little apprehensive, maybe their credit's not great. I would imagine you get that quite a bit. Are these people going to be treated with respect as they come in and kind of go and navigate through that finance?
Absolutely, absolutely. As I said before, we understand that bad things can happen to good people. You know, we're not here to judge anybody. You know, we're here to try to help people advance. If they come in, they're honest with us, they're upfront, they bring their information, we're going to do our best to try to put them in a car. In fact, we have a saying here that if we can't do it, no one can.
I believe that, absolutely. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see, first of all, is their website. On the website, you'll learn a little bit more history about JD Byrider. Basically, a company that began back in the 1989 era. This has grown dramatically across the nation. We're talking about 33 states, 153 locations. They have sold over 1.2 million cars and growing all the time. Check out the website. Honestly, that's an educational tool for you out there that are deciding to buy a car. I mean, read through the research they put together for you there. You'll find out if, you know, as far as mileage goes, warranties goes, extended service agreements, if those are going to help you. Everything is right there on the website, and you can even get approved right there online as well. So when you come in, you can take a look at some great cars. Let me ask you this. We've talked a lot about how to basically get a car. Well, let's not forget why we're getting a car, because cars are great. Cars are fun. Let's get to the inventory a little bit. We're talking about makes, models, colors. Pretty good selection here for somebody who's paying here, buying here.
Yeah, you know, and honestly, this time of the year, it's very hard for us to keep inventory because as tax time comes in, we get a lot of people that come in and buy cars. So if you take a look at our lot, it looks fairly full right now, but it's actually got a third less than it had a week ago on our lot. So, but we're constantly buying. I mean, whether it's myself at the auction, I've got actually full-time buyers as well. You know, and we try to keep good quality cars. Try not to get cars that are too expensive to fix. Some of the German cars, things like that, they're just a little too expensive to fix, you know, for our customers, and we don't want that. We don't want people broken down. So we try to keep cars that are good, clean, cars that people are going to want, cars that people are going to need, whether it be a 2-door or 4-door, you know, a truck, an SUV. We're very short on SUVs, obviously, right now, because they're very popular this time of year. But we're constantly working on the inventory. I mean, it's just a constant thing. So it's not unusual for us to have 40 cars in the lot and 40 going through the shop at the same time to get on the lot.
Speaking of the shop here, you've got a complete mechanical shop here. That has to help people not only today with the purchase of a car and you getting the car ready, but what about for folks who need to come back, get an oil change, maybe get some maintenance work done? Is that something that it kind of ties in very nicely? Absolutely.
I've got 5 full-time mechanics and 2 full-time detailers on staff. As I told you earlier, we do $10 oil changes for our customers, and we're not using cheap products on that. We're using an oil that's a synthetic blend. Same thing I put in my wife's 2015 car. Get the oil changed right here. Good quality parts that we put on. We do that for our customers to help them keep their cars running, because we know how important that is. We know what it's like, to have your car not start and you can't take your kids to school or you can't get to work. That doesn't benefit anybody, them or us.
Absolutely. It's got to be a win-win. That really is the original way, the family way of doing business. It's worked since back in 1989. When you went to Indiana, you checked out this organization. You've been involved with the auto dealership world for many years. It was a great fit for you. Is this a rewarding way for you to service the public?
It absolutely is. My background is actually from the service side of the business. That's how I started in the business, and so I'm still heavily involved in that. And that's one of the things I really enjoy is when people get in their car, they're so happy when they get their car and they drive off, and then they're so happy when they come. They're always apprehensive. Is my warranty really what they say? And they come over and they get something fixed, and then they're just amazed at how smooth it went and how well their car is fixed and how they leave with no expense or very minimal expense on it. So it really makes you feel good about it.
Absolutely. When I read the reviews out there, you guys make sure and keep in contact with your past customers. You're making sure that they're happy through the entire process. First of all, the buy here, pay here kind of ties you into the client to begin with. I mean, this isn't a one-time shot, but it's your impeccable service, your quality cars that really keep people happy out there. When you read the reviews, is that kind of enjoyable to see what you put together just since 2016?
Oh, it absolutely is. Our goal is to be the absolute best, and it always has been. When I signed on with JD Byrider, I told the franchise manager at the time that my goal was to be the best franchise he had in the state, and that's just the way I'm wired. I'd like to be the best at what we do, and you got to take care of customers to be that way.
Excellent. Last time, viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see their website. Like I said before, you can check out all the financing options right there. They're going to basically walk you through it. The best way is to come on in and check them out here, locally based here in Denver, Colorado. This is a location that serves the Denver area, but obviously they have nationwide service there as well. They really are a unique, one-of-a-kind dealership of this kind. There's nothing else like it out there. This began back in 1989. That is JD Byrider. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.